All right, what's going on, y'all? So today we're going to cover the diet I'm using to maximize strength and muscle since I've come off TRT. So now that I'm Natty, this is my diet strategy that I'm using to maximize my strength and the most amount of muscle I can still have on my frame. Now that I'm going through this process and now trying to see what my body can do naturally at 32 years old. So before I get into the diet, what I'm using, I need to go ahead and give you all a little update on how things are going with this PCT because it does apply to some changes or what I'm doing with my diet. So guys, I'm telling you, day after day, if y'all saw my last update, the last video, talking about how great things were going, literally every day it gets better. My mental clarity continues to get better. My mood is fantastic. I feel so much more just peaceful and level-headed throughout the day. Libido's fantastic. And the crazy thing is that now for the last week straight, I have literally had progression in every single set of every single training session that I've done. And I'm going to talk to you all about what my exact training split is coming up because I made some tweaks to it. But guys, I'm telling you, I am pretty blown away by how incredible things are going so far. I feel absolutely fantastic and I feel healthy. So that plays over into the diet. So before I give you kind of the strategy that I planned out months ago to allow me to PCT correctly and have the smoothest process, because frankly, most people just don't plan this out right and they shoot themselves in the foot. Before I get into that, as many of you know, I'm an Orthodox Christian, and right now we're in Great Lent. So during Great Lent, we pretty much go completely vegan, with the exception of shellfish. So, like shrimp, crabs, scallops, with the exception of that, we're completely vegan. So I've been now vegan for at least the last 3 or so weeks. Before that, we transitioned kind of into vegetarian, pescatarian. So with the exception of one shrimp meal per day, I'm 100% vegan. And, going into this process, I thought it was going to be a lot more challenging, everything. I've set my macros up, literally what I had prior to going vegan. But guys, I'm telling you that I think that this is partially why everything's going so incredibly well right now. I have two theories on why this PCT is going incredibly well. One has to do with the whole vegan thing. The other, I'm not gonna tell y'all what it is because I really think it's the other theory. ChatGPT agrees with me. I'm gonna wait till I get blood work done next week to confirm it. I'll keep y'all posted on that. But I think there is one factor playing into this on why I feel like I'm recovering so fantastically well right now. But I'll talk to y'all about that probably next week. But the whole vegan thing, this was something that, I've had hundreds and hundreds of clients over the last 6 years, and several of them have been either vegetarian or vegan. One of my top competitors right now that I've had under my belt for the last couple of years, he's been 100% vegan the whole time. And not only has his physique progressed at a fantastic rate without any inflammation, keep in mind he's enhanced, but his blood work while on a pretty big PED cycle looks better than some of natural guys that come to me. So my point is this seems to be somewhat of an antidote for what a lot of bodybuilders and strength athletes do. I'm experiencing this within myself. I just feel clean, and strength is ticking up literally by the day. Now, I do think the strength ticking up has to do with my other theory that I've got. The whole point here is I'm not going vegan for life or anything like that. I do believe in quality red meat. I believe in eggs. But with that being said, what this has done to me is, seeing several of my vegan clients that have had great success, and now I'm clearly having great success in this time, which I didn't think I would, at least with the diet. I'm telling you that I plan on coming out of Great Lent. When Great Lent ends towards the end of April, I'm probably going to stay quite a bit more plant-based than I was before. Definitely more than I was before. So what I'm kind of thinking is kind of keeping like an 80-20 rule where 80% of my meals will be vegan. I love my meals that I'm having throughout the day right now. I have a vegan chili in the morning. I have like this tofu rice noodle bowl for lunch. And then dinner I have a shrimp pasta meal. And then I've got vegan protein shakes throughout the day. I'm probably going to keep the majority of those in my diet once Great Lent is done, and maybe just add a red meat meal every few days, maybe add an eggs meal every few days. But I'm absolutely loving the diet right now, and I love the results I'm getting. The reason I'm saying all this is because since things are going so well, it's kind of one of those things. Don't try to fix what's not broken. Since things with this PCT are going so much better than expected, and to be frank, it feels the progression I'm having in the gym right now feels as if I was on, frankly, like a cycle, but my mental clarity and my mood and everything is even better than it was on TRT. So it's kind of one of those things of like, I almost wish vegan wasn't the answer because, I love my meat, but it's one of those things of like, I don't want to fix what's not broken, and this is working out extremely, extremely well. So I am going to definitely stay probably more plant-based, more vegan than what I was before after Great Lent ends. Probably not be 100% vegan, but be more like 80, 90% vegan. The whole strategy with what I had going into this PCT and what I'm doing and why I also think I'm having great results right now is leading into the PCT. So as I was on TRT and then started tapering TRT down, I decided to put myself in a deficit and get myself pretty lean. Not stupid shredded lean, not bodybuilder shredded or anything, but get pretty lean. And if you guys have watched on Instagram, you see, I took myself pretty lean. That way, going into the PCT, as I got off of TRT, I was able to put myself a little bit in a surplus. What you don't want to do when you're PCTing is you don't want to then go in a deficit because the lower body fat ranges you take yourself in, not giving yourself the proper amount of nutrients, all of that is going to be raising cortisol, which is going to be keeping testosterone down. When you PCT, you want to have everything working out in your favor to essentially get your natural test going as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And one of those things is at least be at maintenance, or even better, slightly in a surplus. If you start out in somewhat of a little bit more of a body fat, higher percentage, it's going to do two things. One, you're only going to then pack on more fat, but then two, you're not going to be as insulin sensitive. And insulin sensitivity also plays into test function and all that. So you want to stay lean, but then then you go into, starting your PCT, putting yourself in a little bit of a surplus from a lean standpoint, you're going to, theoretically increase test at a lot more of an efficient rate. You're going to stay leaner, and you should be able to then keep quite a bit more of your strength and your muscle, especially more than if you were to try to be in a deficit while then dropping exogenous test and going into TRT. So that was my whole strategy. That's what I'm doing now. So where my calories are at right now, I've got 3,600 calories per day. The macros, I don't have the exact macros off the top of my head. I believe it's like 420 grams a day of carbs, 290 grams a day of protein, and right around 74 grams of fat per day. Those are kind of the ballpark macros, but it's 3,600 calories per day. This puts me just a little bit in a surplus. And with that, I was 210 the other day. I'll throw up the physique update that I took in the gym. I was 210 when I shot that. This morning I'm 214, and that's just filling out a little bit full of glycogen, all that. And like I said, guys, my strength progression is really, really going up. And I got so many comments on the last video, and I've been getting them on Instagram of people, talking about either A, they don't think I'm going to recover, or just wait, give it 3 months, give it 6 months, he's going to lose his physique. It's not been long enough. Guys, here's what you don't understand. I've had so many clients over the years that they have it set in that they will not touch TRT. They will not touch any PEDs, any exogenous testosterone. And I have done with multiple guys everything to maximize natural test function. I have lived like a robot for 6 years with pro bodybuilding, ultra running before that, to where my days are extremely regimented on, what goes in my body. I don't touch certain ingredients that, people are touching on a regular basis. I don't touch processed food. Everything is tracked. My sleep, my recovery. I have a very, very detailed, locked in supplement protocol. I don't drink alcohol. My training is very, very, very dialed in. And this is what 95% of people do not have. I train with high intensity bodybuilding, like what Dorian Yates did. With volume that works well for me. And, I've got everything locked in. My point here is that I live like a robot And because of that, the guys that I have that are natural, that live like robots, guys, their natural test typically is great, and it's great going into their 40s, sometimes even 50s. There's a guy in my gym right now, he's 55 with his total test being in the 600s. The whole point here is if you live like a robot and you're willing not to do things that just hurt your test, you'd be shocked at what you can do. I think, so many guys just think it's like you have to be on TRT now. And it's just not the case. One, I've seen it with so many of my clients, guys I know in the gym personally. But then two, I'm seeing it within myself that I legitimately feel better right now than I did even on TRT. And only time will tell on what happens to my physique. I'm not delusional in thinking my physique is going to become a peak physique, compared to what I was on PEDs. It's just going to be a different look now. But I fully believe I'm going to be able to have very, very incredible performance, strength performance, and still look great while doing it. Just don't be shooting yourself in the foot, having a negative mentality. I see so many of y'all, like just by the comments y'all leave on my stuff, that you have these limiting beliefs that, if this is how you go through your life, guys, this is setting yourself up for failure. So just stay positive. Don't put on what you just see everybody on social media doing and thinking that has to be what you're doing. But this is what my diet is right now. Right now, I'm completely or pretty much pescatarian, 90% vegan, 10% with a shrimp meal per day. I'm gonna keep that in through PCT and probably just be 80% vegan, 20% very, very, very high quality meats. And then I'm in a surplus for the next little bit. Right now I'm doing 3,600 calories per day. If anything, that'll taper up. I'm willing to put on a little bit of padding right now to essentially preserve as much muscle tissue as possible and increase strength as much as possible. And like what's happening. And I was starting to increase strength a week and a half ago when I wasn't even in the surplus yet. So something's going right. And like I said, I've got a big theory on why things are going this well right now, when ChatGPT thought last week was going to be the crash zone that everybody talks about, and that was the time that I started feeling even better, and I only continue to feel better as the days go on. So I've got a theory on that. I'll keep that tight-lipped for now and tell y'all probably what that is next week after I get blood work. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. All glory to God. God bless y'all, and have a great day.